Hi everyone, my name's Adam Wells and I was a participant in Sarah's most recent Inspiring Speakers programme. In this short video, I'm going to talk to you about my dreaded experience of speaking at Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park. I say dreaded experience because for me it was. I absolutely dreaded the experience. The whole thought of speaking at Speaker's Corner filled me with complete and total fear. It was something that I knew or I felt I just couldn't do. It was something that I didn't want to do. And it was something that I thought it was for other people to do. It wasn't for me to do. I didn't believe I had a message. I didn't believe I could stand up and speak confidently in front of a group of 50, 60 people. And I certainly didn't want to be heckled and have to deal with that as well. So all in all, that little voice in my head just filled me with total fear. And that little voice in my head just sat there for 6 months more or less, doing its stuff. Anyway, the day came, May the 27th, and I woke up thinking, oh my God, today I've got to speak at Speaker's Corner. I'd committed myself to doing it. The only problem was that I didn't have a message to actually give. So I had this huge dilemma. Half of me, I've committed, I've got to deliver something, and the other half of me saying to me, no, there's nothing for you to say. So what I did was I got down to Hyde Park Corner really early, 10 o'clock, and I just walked around listening to the other speakers, really just for inspiration. Well, I didn't get any inspiration because what I discovered was that most of the speakers at Speaker's Corner are very radical, it's very religious, very political, and their messages are hugely extreme. And I got absolutely no help from that being there at all. So I then just walked around Hyde Park for probably 4 hours, praying for some divine inspiration. Well, guess what? It never came. And so I just decided after a while just to give up. I just thought, I'm not going to worry about this. Then the dreaded text message arrived with Sarah saying, we're here, meet by the cafe. And so I met everybody, and I still had no message. And I asked everybody, did they have messages? And they said, yes, they did have a message. I thought, oh, great. And then Sarah said, let's begin. And I suppose reality sunk home. I came to a place of reality when Sarah stood up on that stepladder and said to the crowd, ladies and gentlemen, please gather around. I have 5 inspiring speakers for you this afternoon. Please come and listen to them. It was then that I realised I was going to be speaking at Speaker's Corner. I still had no message. Well, I was speaker number 4, and probably for 20 minutes or so, those were the worst 20 minutes of my life. It was just so surreal. What was I going to do? I still had no idea. I still had no message. Anyway, Sarah got onto the ladder again and said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next inspirational speaker with his message, Mr. Adam Wells. And then it was my turn. And I guess for the first time in my life, I felt I just couldn't run away. I couldn't not do something. This was something I had to do. There was no escape. And as I climbed those 4 steps to the top of the stepladder, the thought that went through my mind was, this must be like climbing the steps to the gallows, the steps of the scaffold. Not that I could actually ever get any feedback on that thought, but that's how I was feeling. I was climbing to the top of the stepladder, and I had no idea what I was going to say. For the first time in my life, I really felt I was totally naked in public with everybody staring at me. And I got to the top of that stepladder, and yes, everybody was staring at me. And then, from somewhere, words came out of my mouth. I said something like, for the first time in history, we all have the power to communicate with the world. We can share our voice to the whole world. And I carried on for 7 or so minutes. And it was an amazing feeling, I have to say, for the first time in a long, long time, whilst I was just saying words which were coming from within, coming from inside me, I actually felt alive. And yes, there was heckling. People were challenging what I was saying, and I was dancing in the moment. I was responding. But wow, I was enjoying it. I was really, really alive in that moment. And I spoke, I guess, for around 5 to 10 minutes. I don't know the exact time. But people stayed. People listened. And I learned that, yes, I have a message. People respond to you. People want to listen to you. They didn't leave. And at the end of it all, I got a huge round of applause as well. It was a very, very surreal moment. And something bigger, greater learning, came from this whole experience was that, if we're to live life and really sort of fulfill our potential and live life in an exciting way, we have to live our life at the top of that step ladder. We have to stretch out into the unknown, try, just become naked and just go for it. And I didn't have any idea of that concept until I was at the top of that step ladder. It was an amazing experience. So my message to you is, yes, the thought of speaking at Speaker's Corner is scary, it's petrifying. But they're just thoughts in our head. The reality is somewhat totally different. We can all speak at Speaker's Corner. We all can say something. And people will listen. People want to listen. So I just say to everybody, just go for it. Get to the top of that step ladder. Thank you.